Education is definitely kind of this like sweet and sour type of thing, right? Like we see it as this like land of opportunities, or like just like people do when they try to immigrate to the U.S., right? Like that's how I think that's like the second American dream, right? Of like families that migrate here. First is like get here, boom, we made it. Second is like let's get this kids to college, boom, by any means necessary, right? And a lot of what I heard was like this kind of like family support that kind of like fueled you to keep going, regardless of people telling you you can't make it, or not knowing people, getting or showing you the actual path to get there and stuff like that. Um, so now that you have told me, and I think Nestor, you kind of jumped into it a little bit already, talking a little bit into it, about this whole entire transition from like high school to like college, right, higher ed, and then like from undergrad to like masters, and then from like masters to like now PhD, right? Like, how have these transitions been, right? Like, as people of color, first generation people, and then just anything else that you carry with you, depending on your identities and the things that you feel are more salient to your to your way of being. Like, how do you think this all played a role as you transition into where you're at right now in higher education?
Yeah, undergrad was rough. I was gonna drop out, like, because I thought I was gonna do communication, and then I was like, oh no, maybe social, and then I was like, no, film. So I didn't know what I was doing. Like, I was the first in my family doing this, and I didn't have anyone. So I had to seek out resources in order to kind of like guide me. I was fortunate that like programs like EOP. I was just talking to one of my friends yesterday, and we were remembering like the mentoring sessions that we would have. I specifically remember Dr. Harold Kennedy Salas, and he was very important to me. I remember going into his office hours and being like, I don't know what I'm doing, and he really like sat with me and looked at the courses that I had been taking. He was trying to get me into the fields of Chicano Latino studies, but I was like, nah, what else can we do with these courses? Yeah. And he was like, there's Latin American Iberian studies, and I was like, okay, but it was a very safe, accountable, like loving space. And he made it a point every time that I walked out of his door. And I think because he saw me like really struggle and really like go through this process of like, I'm gonna drop out, he was like, every time that I would walk out of his door or walk in, he would be like, okay, Dr. Bravo, or like, how are you, Dr. Bravo? And so like those little things are just like important, right? Because I didn't know that I was gonna be pursuing this path now, but like just having that person like instill that within you every time you would walk in, right? So I think it's just community.